I would love to hear from both of you, even though I hear you say like you can't really describe it, like it's trying to describe Burning Man, but I'd still love for you to try and describe for everyone what is sacred union to you, because it's a word that a lot of people haven't heard or used before. And how is that different from a relationship or like a marriage as we think of it traditionally?
Well, you can say everything is sacred and you're actually right? Like everything is sacred.
Yeah.
But then that actually makes the word a little bit meaningless if you say everything is sacred. But it's true. Everything is sacred. The most sacred thing is what is. Yes, that's all true. So you have to understand the language. But when you declare sacred union, that actually means that there is something that you're declaring is different in some way, and special in some way. And it's not that it's separate from the field. It is connected to the field of all sacred things. But in relating, this is the sacred thing. And the sacred thing means to me that what is sacred? Well, the sacred is the wholeness of who you are, wants this, desires this, and wants to actually hold this more than anything else. So if it comes to anything else in the whole universe, that you have to fold every other card to that single ace, like you're playing draw poker and you have an ace, you can fold all 4 of your other cards. You can fold every other card to the ace, which is the sacred union. And that's the only thing that matters. So if all the money goes away, all the friends go away, all of the other things go away, everything goes away, this is the last thing that you'll ever fold. And you won't ever fold it. It'll actually, your body will have to fold because it'll be stepping over your dead body to let this go. And like, that's that type of passion and intensity and bond that this is evoking. And of course, it sounds unrealistic because you look at divorce statistics and you look at the way lots of people think that, and when we were going to get married, I had all of my attorneys were like, you better get a prenup. You're about to sell on it. This is a big deal. But I was like, no, no, I'm not. There's nothing there. If in this catastrophic timeline, which to me seemed like the same timeline of the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. It's like Armageddon comes, fucking fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. If this thing breaks, the whole cosmos breaks for me. So I don't give a fuck. So we're not going to have a prenup. Like I'm all in.
Yeah.
But why? Why did I feel that comfortable to be all in? The reason I felt that comfortable is I trusted that Vylana would go into the deep with me. That wherever we ran into trouble, whatever was coming up, we would go in together and we would figure it out. It was the faith that not only that she had what I wanted now, but that she would keep looking and I would keep looking no matter what.
Yeah.
And we would get there no matter what. So even if the problem presented itself, we would find a solution together.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that was articulated so beautifully. And, another aspect to kind of touch on of the way that I view our sacred union, other than, it is the beacon of everything, as you said, where all other cards fold, no matter what. Like this is the number one priority for our eros to be intact, for there to be, the expansiveness and the depth in our sexual communion and intimacy. And for also, a big part of it that I see is really, really important is that we are facing in the same direction, hand in hand with the same mission to do whatever we can for the good of all, to be of service to the greatest good, to shift the paradigms on this planet, to do what we came here to do. It is our soul dharma and we do it together and we're looking out at the same horizon in the same way. So it's like, we have our own sovereign things that we do in life. He has his podcasts and he writes books and I do sound healing and music and, just different artistic expressions. But everything that we do is together and looking out at the same horizon. And I think that's a really important aspect of it as well.
So what Vylana is describing is the third level of relating, which we actually talk about in our course From Soul to Sacred Union. It's the whole mate level. So I'll briefly cover this. Role mate is the first level, and that's each of us fulfill different roles. We provide different resources for the relationship. We both serve each other in our own ways. We try to find reciprocity in the roles that we serve. Soulmate, I look deeply into her eyes. She looks deeply into mine. We don't flinch. We go through all of the challenges. We could be in a room together for a year straight and just continue to peer deeply inside of each other. And then wholemate is what she's talking about, is that third level of relating, which unlocks sacred union, is to have a shared horizon. And to think about that, imagine that, think about the Fellowship of the Ring, for those who are familiar, right? They had a shared horizon. There was Sauron, and there was the two towers, and there was a great darkness that was coming over the world. Would any one of those in the Fellowship be like, yeah, Gandalf, I'm not really feeling our friendship right now, bro. Like, whatever, man. Like, I'm gonna do my thing. No, hell no, they wouldn't do that, because they saw how important it was for the wizards and the dwarves and the elves and everybody to come together. Now, that's not a romantic context, but that was a sacred fellowship. That was a sacred union between them when they're like, we're doing this thing together.
Yeah.
And it fucking matters.
Yes.
And that thing, I think, is really essential for sacred union to really be there, because that's what puts you to the place where you're unfuckable.